Bonjour, welcome back to the pod. Do you know what my new favourite thing is? Tempeh chips. If y'all haven't tried tempeh chips, honestly, yum, they're so good. Tempeh chips, tempeh is like soybean. Yep. Do you hear that crunch? It's sensational. Anyway, tempeh chips. I used to eat tempeh when I was younger, especially with Indonesian food. They used to put like slabs of tempeh there. Anyway, essentially I feel like they take those slabs and they just cut really thin slices and they make chips. But yeah, get yourself a pack that's like not too greasy and thank me later because they're so addictive. So tasty. Ridiculously tasty. Dangerously tasty. Anyway, welcome back to the pod. We're on episode 40 already, guys. Sorry. Just for me, I'm like, that's a lot of podcasts. Wowee. So yay, thanks for listening and appreciate you all. Do you like my cute but not cute outfit today? Just put on a cute jacket, but it's because I couldn't be bothered changing my top. So the trend of me trying to dress cute is not going too well, just because I'm really prioritizing comfort. But you know, I'm not going to try and change who I am. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk about being fast and loose or slow and tight. So this thought comes from a podcast that I listen to, which I absolutely love, which is the Hamish and Andy podcast. Hamish and Andy, Australian duo from Australia. I don't know why I had to say that twice. Anyway, I grew up with them. They're so funny. They used to be on like the radio, and then when they ended their radio show, they like continued on podcasts, and they're just like, I guess you would call them like Australian larrikins. They're just very funny. They're just two bros that just have really great banter, super witty, and they just do a whole lot of random things. They're for the people, and they always refer to this term of being fast and loose. And it's funny because one of them is fast and loose and the other person is, I don't know what I can't remember what they call it, but I'm going to call it slow and tight. I'm not sure if that's what they call it as well. And it made me think about, it made me realize that there are definitely situations where I feel like I'm one or the other, or maybe I'm both. So I actually had a separate like podcast list of all these things about like little inconveniences and things that annoy me, and I was like reviewing that and I was like, oh my god, maybe I am actually made me think like, oh, who am I in this? Am I fast and loose or slow and tight? So my answer is that I think that I'm fast and tight. So that's an in-between, meaning that I feel like I'm like cool moving fast and just like going with the flow, but I'm also not that loose. Like I do have things that I like and don't like, as most people do, but I think a little bit more maybe than the average person, or maybe I am average, honestly. I don't know. So in this podcast, after you listen, comment about what you think you are. Are you fast and loose, slow and tight, or are you fast and tight? So I was saying how this started because of like inconvenience that I was like noting down. And let's just dig into that, because there are honestly some things that just irk me. I just cannot deal with it. And they just grind my gears. And so the first one is, I don't know if you guys have ever like been walking or running and you're on like a tiled pavement. This happened in Hong Kong a lot, where some of the tiles kind of like shift based on the ground or the terrain beneath it. And you can kind of sometimes spot them when they're a little bit like loose or they look like they're not so stable. But sometimes you can't spot them, and then that's when it's like super irritating. So I used to run along the Hong Kong harbourfront a lot, and there were these tiles that were like, they were just like, I guess like a potluck. You don't know what you're going to get out of it. So sometimes you step on it and it'd be fine, sometimes it wouldn't. Anyway, I used to always get caught in those, and I would run, and then I would step on it and forget that was the bad tile, and all this water from the bottom of it, because it was a loose tile, just like submerged and splashed all over your leg. That was gross, because I would look down at my leg and I was like, the water was like brown. I was like, damn it, I just literally just got these new shoes and now my leg is dirty and my shoes are dirty. That irks me. Like, just put the tile, install it properly, put the right like foundation, and then have it not do that. It's just irritating. I also think it's so rude when people step in a pavement. So like when you walk around and you can see like a footprint in a pavement, I'm like, wow, the audacity. You know, I get it when people were younger, they used to like draw a love heart or write their names in the pavement. I feel like I could imagine that being really annoying for people who were laying the pavement. But at least you kind of like put something there as artistic. It's kind of cute. But the footprint is just like you saw that like probably had like a little bit of tape going around it showing you that you shouldn't walk there, and you just went for it, or you thought it was dry and you were being like you just being lazy and you walked over it. That I'm just like, y'all are just so annoying. That beautifully laid pavement now has a footprint in it for life. Yeah, that irks me when I see that. Another thing, one thing I get, but I also just really don't understand as well, is why cars and why suddenly everybody just forgets how to drive when it rains. And I get it if it was like torrential rain, got it. Like you can't really see, totally fine. But sometimes it's just like sprinkles and suddenly traffic's just really bad. You know, like when you're traveling in Bangkok, it's like, oops, it's just raining a little bit. Ooh, traffic's really bad. And sometimes I'm like, if you guys are also encountering like monsoon style rain on the regular, how have you not learned how to drive in this rain? And why are you slowing down so much? I understand like the heightened risk, I guess, or potential for there to be more accidents in the rain. I understand that, guys. But when it's very light rain or minimal, not torrential, I don't understand. Another thing that irks me is, you know, when you go to a car park or you go somewhere to pay and you have a ticket and you get there and then they have a card slot machine, like they have the credit card machine or the notes machine, and then they're like, nope, we only take coins or notes. Like they have something there, it's built into the system, but then they've removed the ability for that to work. ¿Por qué? Why you do that? I'm like, if you're going to build a machine, utilize the whole thing. That irks me. Once again, I understand it's probably a rational reason, like, oh, they didn't have, maybe they're servicing and filling up the cash and all that sort of stuff has gotten inconvenient. But I don't care, guys. Don't have it if it doesn't work. I'm not into it. I'm very particular about the texture of things. So I'm a texture-based eater. I don't know if that makes sense to most people. Maybe there's more of me out there. There's got to be more of us out here. But I really enjoy the textures of food, and like some of my favorite foods, they all have something really similar. Like in terms of the texture, I really like something when something's like bouncy or like it's got a bit of a bite to it. I don't like it when things are too mushy or soggy. Yeah. Or like not enough like texture when you're eating it. You know, you got to have something for your mouth to work with. I also don't like when it's too tough either, but I really like good textures and something that's got like a little bit a crunch sometimes, and then it's chewy. Ooh, love it. Like texturally, okay, example, I really like rice cakes, like tteokbokki, or even putting like rice cakes in a hot pot. Love that. Love it when it's like that texture where it's a bit soft and then the inside's got that bite. Oh, just gets my engines going, guys. I love it. So I don't like it when things are not texturally good. Like something I can't stand is like the soy goose in Hong Kong. Oh, it's just not for me. It's pretty much like soy goose, and then sometimes they have like other condiments like egg and other things that's just like soaked in soy and it's cooked and it's kind of braised in like soy sauce, I guess, like, or soy whatever, and it's just like mushy and soft. It took me a really long time as well to like mochi. I only like a really good like thin mochi. I really just like a thick mochi. it just gives me the ick. I don't know why. Texturally, it just does not do it for me when I bite. I'm like, oh no, it's too much. I don't know. It's too much nothingness, really. Me no like. Oh, okay. This one's a big one. I feel like I encounter this a lot in Asia, where it's like rules that don't have any justification. So they'll be like, oh, you can't walk here, or you can't do this, or no, you can't combine those two. Like, for instance, when you go to bubble tea, you're like, oh, you can't substitute out that topping for this. I'm like, but why? And they don't have an answer. I'm like, I don't understand. You're going to scoop it into the cup anyway. Just instead of scooping that one, scoop the other one. I don't mind. Charge me more. But why can't you do it? That just drives me insane, because I find like when people are doing that, for me, it feels like they're not thinking for themselves and they're just doing something without understanding why they're doing it. And that irritates me, because I feel like everybody in this world should be living life knowing why they're doing something. Okay, if you say no, but just give me a good reason. Like, oh no, we can't change the topping because of contamination. Okay, maybe that makes sense. I don't know. Just give me a reason. I really don't like it when they do that. It's super common in Asia. And I think like sometimes in Asia, because I do think the average person is less educated. I mean, not in general Asia, I mean Southeast Asia. Less educated than the average person, maybe in like Australia, right? I think it's because the government doesn't offer them great public education system. So therefore you do have a part of the population that lack critical thinking. And so for me, understanding why you can't do something or why you do something requires critical thinking, and it's like an expression of, I don't know, your freedom and your rights. So that just really strikes a nerve, guys. Oh, and yeah, my last one is just like people moving slowly. I get it if you're like older. I'm here for it. My elderly ancestors, you move at the pace you want to move. But when people are like just like walking, they're looking at their phones, or they're just like dawdling, paying zero attention to the fact that they're taking up their whole walkway, that is honestly one of the banes of my existence. Because I'm just like, do you own this whole pathway? Why you got to walk in like one line but 4 people when there's literally only room for 5 people on this walkway? That just irritates me. It irritates me. So that's where I'm not fast and loose. That's where I'm definitely slow and tight. But I think when I tell you the things that I get irked by, you'll see that I'm kind of a mixture of both. So I strangely enough have a lot of patience for slow technology. I would like to say that in my lifetime I have been blessed with, not blessed, the word is tainted. I think like before I ever started to engage with the technology, the gods were just like, she is going to have interesting and not so great experiences with technology. And I haven't really bought that many new technology things before, but when I tell you my stories of when I do, you'll understand why I feel like I'm tainted. But generally as a whole, because I think I didn't grow up having technology in my household as a fundamental, because it was before like really like the big computer boom. I spent a lot of my life just whatever without that much sophisticated technology. I can appreciate life without it. Obviously, we started to get a laptop, and I love MSN, appreciate MSN, and like Internet Explorer back in the day, such a vibe. But I understand what life is like without it, so I guess I have more patience for it. I'm like, oh, if it's slow, I get it, because I've seen it before. I've seen it be this slow. But if I was like a 12-year-old now or a 20-year-old, I'd be like, oh my God, why is it not working? It always works super fast. And maybe you wouldn't know. You wouldn't understand how to practice patience with technology. So, for example, when I was in high school, when I was like 16, I got a scholarship to move to a private school. And they all have these fancy laptops. And like when you go to public school, it's just like, you don't do laptops. You just take your notepad, take your books to class and write with your hand. And so I guess like my mom obviously would want me to also have the same experience as other people I'm going to school with. So she was like, oh, we'll get you a laptop. But we couldn't afford like the laptop that people had in class. And I was just like, I'm also only going to this for 2 years. Do I really need a laptop? And everyone had these fancy laptops at my school where it was like, at the time it was really fancy because it was the one where you could flip it all the way, the screen all the way to the back and become a tablet, and it had like a pen and stuff. Anyway, we could not afford that. So we were like, my mom was really savvy and she was like, let's get you a rental. The school ended up being really super nice and gave me a rental from the library for free, which was so sweet. But that computer was significantly slower than other people's laptop, which is fine, but it was the same model. And so I used to go to class and I would like turn my laptop on 15 minutes before class and just like walk off, go and do whatever I need to do, eat, grab food, like talk to some people. And then I would come back to it. And by the time I came back in 15 minutes, it had like started up and it was like warmed up and it was ready to go. And I felt like that started my habit where I would understand the time that technology needed to, you know, get started, get warmed up, ready for usage, and then I would come back and then utilize it. So I formed all these really funny habits where I would just create a routine with how I should be treating the technology so that it could be in the best position to perform. Because if I had turned on that laptop and then tried to rush it, trust me, I tried it before, it would not work. So it was all about patience. And it was really funny when I met Alex. He was like, why do you have all these weird like approaches to technology? Why are you so odd? And I was like, oh, but I'm fine. Like I have so much patience for it. I'll just sit there and wait for it to load. And he, on the other hand, is like, nope, technology needs to be fast. So it was so funny because I think that I have so much patience for technology in such a strange way. So back to that point about the stories of why I feel like I'm tainted with technology. 2 very quick stories. One, the first time I bought my own phone, so I've always had hand-me-down phones. I decided finally, cool, save my money. I've been working. I'm going to buy an iPhone 7. Bought the iPhone 7. My mom brought it back for me from the US. Was so excited. Used it for 2 weeks. Then I was at a frozen yogurt place sitting there like this, holding it in my hand. And this hooligan ran past and snatched it out of my hand. And I was like honestly so shocked. But yeah, I was wearing Uggs, so I didn't really get the explosive speed that I needed to catch the guy, but I did get close. But yeah, 2 weeks of a new phone snatched out of my claws and robbed from me. I was like, oh my God, the one time I buy myself a new phone and it's new or new technology, this is what happens. The other time was I bought myself a laptop because I was once again like, girl, saved your money, time to move on, get your first laptop. Okay. So she buys this laptop. This might have happened before. I think it happened around a similar time to the phone. Maybe the laptop happened first. Anyway, bought the laptop, was so excited, bought a Windows Surface, aka one of the worst laptops ever. They're literally so bad. Anyway, but I bought the laptop, but not the tablet version with like the foldable keypad. I bought like just like the big one. Bought it brand new. Sorry, there was a bug on my leg. Bought it brand new, took it home, and then within 48 hours, the whole thing just froze and didn't work. And I was like, what is happening? This is brand new. That should have been my sign to return the damn laptop and not actually get a new one. But I took it back and they gave me a brand new one. That laptop anyway was not fit for usage, honestly. Did not last, did not really serve me well. Another very slow laptop that caused me many issues. But yeah, so anytime I bought myself a new technology, it's not really gone down very well. But touch wood, that's probably got some wood in it. I've had my iPhone that I bought new for myself 2 years ago for 2 years now. So we're going to say she's in good standing. Touch wood. Watch me come back to this podcast like next week and be like, I've lost it. Anyway. Okay. Just quickly, other things that I am okay with. Folding clothes, not bothered. Especially if I'm doing it, I'm just like, just a quick fold and then that's it. Creases in clothes, also not bothered. Like, if I have to iron, I'd rather not. I would just wear it with the crease. Alex, on the other hand, so funny, like so particular, does not enjoy creases in clothes. like, I guess maybe, I don't know. He has his own thing with that. So every time I wear something and it's like really creased, he's like, do you want to wear something else that's very creased if you're not going to iron it? And I also don't really iron because my mum just like also never liked ironing when I was growing up. And so she's always just like, you don't need to iron. It's fine. So, you know, thanks, mum. I don't mind having like a small mess that is orderly. This is where I think I'm fast and tight because, like, for example, the chair and the table, everyone has that item in their household where they just kind of like, you dump things temporarily because you know it's not going to be there permanently. You're just putting it there for the time being. Because it's like, oh, I wore these pants, but I only wore them out for 1 hour. They don't need to be washed yet. I'll just leave it on this chair and I'll come back to it another time. Or you got changed and you couldn't be bothered putting those things away at that time. You come back to it once again. Same for the table. I have like, you know, admin things that just sit there, or like a bag or something. I'm like, I'm going to come back to it. But Alex thinks that that's very annoying. He's just like, why don't you just put it away? I'm like, because it's only temporary. Why would I move it if it's temporary? And then, yeah, I think the last thing was just like, I don't mind like having a scattered desktop. Like, you know, have like lots of things on the desktop. That's fine with me. It's not overwhelming. Same with folders. I'm like, yep, I order my folders like pretty well, but like I'm not crazy diligent about it. See, this is why I think that I'm like fast and tight and not fast and loose. I'm close, but I'm not quite there. But then I guess if I think about why these things bother me versus the other things, I think all the things that bothers me are kind of like things that I have choice over and I'm in control of. So I think that's why I don't mind, because I'm actively deciding I don't want to spend my time on that, or I don't want to do that, and it's not valuable to me. But the other things, it's like, actually, it irritates me because I'm not in control of the action, and therefore I don't fully understand why someone's doing something or why they've done something, and then it irritates me more, because I guess it's something that I wouldn't do either. Like, I would not step on a pavement that's not dry because I feel like someone's taken the time to lay that cement. So yeah, this is my own reflections. What irks you guys? What irks you, or what gets you going? What do you love? Are you fast and loose? Are you slow and tight? Or are you fast and tight? Are you slow and loose? Let me know. I'm so intrigued. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the pod. Bye.